So my name is Leah Corbett.
I'm Mike Corbett, her husband.
We attended a school event. We were at Holiday Hill, normal day. I was actually swimming in the pool with Jalen, and I was with the kids, and I was completely normal health-wise, actually the best shape I had ever been in. So that night, I went to bed normally, and everything was fine. And then I woke up at about 4 o'clock in the morning with a terrible headache. And the headache reminded me of like a headache that I experienced during a car accident that I had sustained a concussion. When we checked the blood pressure, it was very high, 190s over 120s, and we rechecked and it was still the same, and he was just like, we gotta go. So we rushed to the ER, and again, just thinking I have a terrible headache, maybe stress. We were 10 days out from our wedding ceremony, so hey, maybe I just have a really wicked headache. We find out that I had a brain bleed. Still, I'm thinking, okay, do what you gotta do. Just, like immediately I'm thinking, all right, they're gonna have to operate it, and I'm getting married, so make sure whatever you have to shave on my head, just make sure that they can connect my tracks, for my hair to be beautiful for my wedding. Like, I'm not even understanding the severity of what they're saying.
Lead nurse came and told me, yeah, your wife had a brain bleed. I'm like, mine? What do you mean? So for a minute it was shocking. My knees buckled. I'm saying to myself, oh man, we're supposed to get married. It was scary to me. She had been through a lot prior to that, and all I'm thinking about is all the stress leading up to it, what happened, how this could have happened. And I'm like, well, what do we do? And he's like, well, we're gonna see how bad it is and we'll go from there. My cousin had a look on her face of worry, because she's like, well, it's a good thing she came in now, because usually they come in a lot worse. I'm like, a lot worse? What do you mean? It's like, yeah, usually they can't speak, they can't move. Sometimes they go back to sleep and they don't wake up. I'm like,
yeah,
all I could do was thank God at that point, because I was actually supposed to go to work. And I said, well, let's go to the hospital just to make sure I'll call out. Not realizing what was going on. She would have went to sleep, I would have went to work, and who knows what would have happened.
Right.
So thank God we did what we did, and things started getting taken care of.
Yeah. I began to text people, random people, for no rhyme or reason or selection of these people. As I look back at it, I went through a friend on Facebook that I have never even met, that we share likes in Peloton and Stitch Fix and things of that nature, and like we talk through Instagram and Facebook and things like that, kind of like what old days would be like a pen pal. I reached out to her. I've never even met her in person, and I was just like, in case something happens to me, it was so great to know you. I reached out to a cousin. I reached out to several friends. I reached out to Pastor Asia to be like, I'm so sorry, I'm gonna miss women's chat. Like that, I had a brain bleed. Like, I'm just not even understanding the reality of it all. So I began to stutter so bad. Like, it was a like tremble talk. Like, my voice would go like in all of my words. And so I'm like, how am I gonna say my vows? My gait was different, like the way that I walked was different. Like, understanding, comprehending was difficult. Light sensitivity, sound sensitivity. The normal sound of a puppy or a dog would sound like a roar of a lion. I couldn't even walk in my neighborhood without frightening. Like, we did make it through the wedding, through the grace of God, right?
After the surgeon suggested, you probably won't be able to do that. I would suggest you do that, the music, the lights, the excitement.
Yep.
And you said to yourself, I'm not letting anything stop me from this.
Right.
You prayed on it.
Yes.
You put it in his hands.
Yep, I did.
And you walked down, and people didn't even realize, to this day, they're like, you look really good on your wedding. You don't look like anything was wrong with you.
Yeah.
And you said it was a struggle.
Yeah.
But you put your faith.
It was a great struggle, but no one, no other than God got me through that day. it was like he wiped every symptom I had. I was able to say my vows clearly. I was able to withstand the music somehow. And then it was like, after all of that excitement and adrenaline wore off, my symptoms began to slowly return. Doubt and all of this heaviness began to like fulfill my world, like fill my world. It was dark for a very long time, but I am so blessed for the people that I have in my circle that God has surrounded me with, the way that I was introduced to Church on the Rock, and like the way that everyone was praying for me, and like that darkness began to just dissipate. Like I began to, like I began to start like coming out and like, getting stronger and like staying faithful and going to church and staying in my word and remaining positive despite my circumstance. The devil will put such doubt in your spirit, and it's so controlling and it's so heavy, but God is so much more, and he's so much stronger, and he's so much more powerful. And when you come to him and you ask for strength, and you ask for peace, and you ask for healing, he gives it to you. And that's what he's doing for me. I'm able to talk. I'm able to, cook. I'm able to go for walks. I'm able to, attend church. I'm able to begin to do the things that I like again. And, I'm figuring out myself.
I've always had a strong spiritual connection with God, but I've gotten stronger since joining this church. And it helps me, not just the word, but how I see the word affect you, how I see your growth.
Yes.
And you dealing with people and situations 100 times better.
Right.
And that's been a blessing to all of us.
Yes.
And we're trying to be that example for our son Mikey, because we want him to realize, like, when things get hard, you don't give up.
Right.
You pray.
Yeah.
You put it in God's hands, and he'll take care of you. He's done it for me my whole life. He's done it for all of us our whole life. But I know he's done. I keep track. I made sure I know, God's got me this time. And when I think about it, he's never failed me.
He never fails.
And that's the great thing.